The 2024 Paris Olympic and Paralympic Games this summer has pledged to be the greenest in the event's history. The organizing committee has made grand promises to halve the event's carbon emission compared to the average of previous summer games. Despite these promises on protecting the environment, the Paris 2024 Games is not free from controversies, particularly the companies that helped to build venues for the event or are major sponsors. As we cheer for our country's athletes at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, let us take a look at some of the controversies around the misconducts of the companies that are involved in the world's most watched sporting event. Behind the rapid construction of Olympic sites lies the untold story of hundreds of undocumented migrant workers, many of them from the Mediterranean region. They are reportedly paid less than minimum wage, work grueling hours without sick leave or vacations, and face legal vulnerability and exploitation. Some of these undocumented workers reportedly have to pay up to €900 a month to fictitious companies for falsified payslips to secure their residency application, unwittingly allowing their identity to be exploited in further employment scams. Solideo, the Olympic Games delivery authority, contracted with commanding companies, which then delegated projects to smaller firms. Subcontracting also allows commanding companies to escape responsibility. This complex arrangement shields employers from taxes and legal responsibilities, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation and legal vulnerability among the undocumented workforce. Unsafe working conditions at Olympic sites have become a serious concern. To make matters worse, when undocumented immigrants are injured on the job, their injuries are often handled off the books, excluding them from official workplace injury statistics. Inspection records and documents show Olympic sites have been more dangerous than organizers have disclosed, with some projects failing to meet basic safety standards. Recent changes to French labor laws, such as reduced funding for inspections and the abolishment of company safety boards, have contributed to the hazardous conditions. In June 2024, a protest was held at Pont d'Austerlitz in Paris, calling for justice for a Malian worker employed by the construction company Lassade, who was killed while working on the Bassin d'Austerlitz site, a project that aims to clean the Seine River for the Olympics. The CGT union, which organized the protest, alleged serious safety violations at the construction site, including lack of signage, traffic control, and backup alarms for vehicles. Although the Olympic Organizing Committee had established a social charter signed with unions and employers in 2019, aiming to address working conditions and reduce the danger of construction sites, the Bassin d'Austerlitz project was not part of the social charter, and workers, especially undocumented workers, are therefore not protected. At the court, a group of 10 undocumented workers who worked on Paris 2024 Olympic venues are suing construction companies Vinci, Eiffage, Spia Batignolles, GCC, and 8 subcontractors for labor exploitation, including working without contracts, payslips, paid holidays, or overtime. The workers, originally from Mali and the Democratic Republic of Congo, were initially undocumented and continue to face labor rights violations even after gaining legal status. Lululemon, a sports apparel company that is the official clothing provider for Team Canada at the Olympic Games, is facing a greenwashing complaint in France. The environmental advocacy group Stand.Earth has called on the French regulator to investigate Lululemon's vague, disproportionate, and ambiguous environmental claims, which may constitute misleading commercial practices. The group has accused the Vancouver-based apparel company of greenwashing in a complaint submitted to the French Directorate General for Competition Policy, Consumer Affairs and Fraud Control, or DGCCRF, just days before the Olympic Games opening ceremony in Paris. Through the company's Be Planet campaign, unveiled in 2020, Lululemon tells customers that its products and actions avoid environmental harm and contribute to restoring a healthy planet. But the company's latest impact report shows that emissions from Lululemon's full supply chain, known as Scope 3 emissions, nearly doubled to 1.2 million tons of carbon dioxide between the campaign's launch and 2022. That's equivalent to powering 300,000 gasoline cars for a year. Stand.Earth's complaint said Lululemon's emissions are set to grow even further as it tries to hit a goal of doubling sales by 2026. The group's executive director says Lululemon customers worldwide deserve to know the true impacts of the company's climate pollution, not the greenwashed version it uses to sell products. Lululemon, on the other hand, said that Be Planet is not a marketing campaign but only a pillar of the company's impact strategy, and that the firm is confident the statements it makes to the public accurately reflect its impact goals and commitments. Lululemon has committed to reaching net zero emissions across its supply chain by 2050. But the company has come under intense criticism from green advocates over its climate and environmental impacts caused by energy-intensive production, high consumption of natural resources like water, and long-distance shipping of items around the globe. 4/5 of Lululemon's manufacturers in 2022 were located in countries that are highly dependent on fossil fuels like Vietnam, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia. The materials most commonly used by Lululemon in its clothes, polyester and nylon, are themselves produced from fossil fuels, according to the Stand Earth complaint. Another Olympic sponsor, CocaCola, is under scrutiny for widespread plastic use. The Paris Olympics Organizing Committee said it would meet its target to reduce single-use plastics by half compared to the 2012 London Games, despite bottles by major sponsor Coca-Cola being widely used on its sites. Fanta, Sprite, and Coke are flowing unabated at Olympic venues where staff have been seen emptying plastic bottles into reusable cups, a practice some say runs counter to the Games' pledge to be the greenest in history. At the site for the swimming events, for example, glass bottles were being emptied into red and white cups, as noted by one AFP journalist. In a press release, Coca-Cola said it needed to adapt to each location and find the best conditions for safety and food quality, given technical and logistical constraints including water and electricity supplies, and storage space. While 700 drink fountains have been deployed across the competition, plastic bottles are being used where glass alternatives aren't an option, said the head of sustainability for the Paris Games. She added, "In our estimations of what will be served, we believe we will attain this 50% single-use plastic reduction. The bottles poured into cups would not count towards this target." Environmental groups slammed the firm for unjustified plastic pollution, adding that the U.S. company deserved the gold medal for greenwashing during the Olympics. In 2022, the most recent data available, Coca-Cola, which is one of the world's top plastics producers, manufactured 134 billion plastic bottles. The surfing competitions of the 2024 Summer Olympics are taking place in Tahiti, French Polynesia, located in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean, 15,000 kilometers away from Paris. The judging tower for surfing could destroy an important marine ecosystem in Tahiti. As Olympic surfers are set to brave some of the world's biggest waves, controversial plans for a new aluminium judges tower have drawn criticism from environmentalists and local surfers for its potential impact on marine life. Organizers intend to house the judges and television cameras on an aluminium tower that will jut out of the ocean. That plan has sparked protests in Tahiti. Its critics fear for coral and other marine life. A minimal-impact viewing tower already exists at the site. Built 20 years ago, it has been successfully used for judging and live filming of professional contests. But Paris 2024 organizers say that the original tower's foundations do not meet current safety requirements due to natural degradation and corrosion of the structure. A study found that it could not be brought up to standard, even if renovation works were carried out. The new aluminium tower would have concrete foundations, and protesters claim large swaths of reef would need to be cleared to make way for drilling. Tahitian surfer Matahi Drole is one of the most vocal opponents. His protest videos on Instagram have racked up hundreds of thousands of views. This new construction is going to destroy a big part of the reef, with disastrous impacts on the marine ecosystem that might only become clear in years to come, he says in a video posted on Instagram. In another video, underwater scenes of a thriving coral reef reportedly show the proposed building site for the tower. But Paris 2024 organizers have refuted this, sharing a video of the proposed site showing a relatively flat seabed with coral primarily only on the original foundations. They say the new foundations will be inserted in the intervals of the existing plots to avoid impacting the coral that has developed. Any coral on the site will be moved outside the work zone according to strict environmental protocols to protect it, they add. Many of these issues that we have talked about in this video are indeed not unique to the Paris Olympic Games. Many modern sporting events have been held in countries with appalling human rights records, but with little pushback from fans, broadcasters, or governments. Among the most notable examples, the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar was marred by accusations of sports washing, environmental damage, and most critically, severe human rights abuses, including the country's treatment of women, the LGBTQ+ community, and migrant workers. Among these widely reported allegations was one especially horrifying statistic. Over 6,500 migrant workers from India, Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh died while building hotels and stadiums in preparation for the 2022 World Cup. This means that each minute of football played at the tournament equated to the loss of one human life. Still, they had little impact on public opinion in the weeks leading up to the tournament. As the Paris Olympic Games 2024 prioritize sustainability, it can potentially create a model for other major sporting events to follow. Voices of sports fans are indeed being heard by organizing committees and sponsors of the events, therefore we are capable of fighting for the purity of the games we love. But such a fight for the soul of modern sports should not begin only after enjoying the summer tournaments. Ultimately, as sports fans, we should know that ethics often begin in the here and now. Qatar is a candidate to host the 2036 Olympics. Given the death toll of the 2022 World Cup, it is likely that such an event will cost the lives of thousands more workers, and it should be met with firm resistance. So what do you think? What can be done on major sporting events to further address issues such as workers' welfare and the environment? Let us know in the comments below, give us a thumbs up. Also check out our video earlier about controversial sponsors for the Euro 2024 Football Championship. Subscribe to channel CSR for more of our videos about responsible business practices.